Hello everyone. In this video, we shall see the 5 essential communication skills. Let's see, what do you mean by communication in general? So, communication is nothing but the exchange of information based on the context, based on the media, based on the sender and receiver. There are different definitions, but basically, the idea of communication is to convey the information. So, here, effective communication skills help you to receive and convey the information, the ideas, and the messages in different ways that are powerful and appropriate to the situation. The main objective here is convey of what? Convey of information. Today, we are successful in landing our Chandrayaan 3 Vikram rover successfully on the moon. But this information is conveyed through different media, different social media, different channels. The live coverage of that information is conveyed to everyone in the world. So a lot of applauses came from the entire world to the success of Chandrayaan 3. So here the information is conveyed using electronic media. So the purpose here is to convey the information. Not only information, convey the ideas also. Convey the messages also. In those ways which are powerful and appropriate to the situation. So you have to identify the situation. You are in which situation? How are you supposed to convey the message? Which methodology has to be followed to convey the message? That has to be understood. So, there are 5 different types of communication, namely written communication. It is applicable to those areas wherein documentation is necessary. Communication in the form of some written letters are necessary. Normally, these type of communications are very much useful in business, in government, in educational institutions, wherever the written communication is required. So basically, written communication is nothing but conveying the ideas and conveying the information through the use of written language. Next one, another type of communication is oral communication, wherein you are conveying your ideas, you are conveying your information through the use of spoken language. Next one, non-verbal and visual communication. This is one more method of communication wherein you are conveying your ideas, you are conveying your information by means of some images, some visual effects, some movies without any speeches. Some messages will be there in that image, some messages will be there in that movie, some messages will be there in some animated videos. For example, you will find a image wherein a person is cutting the tree and another end he is using an oxygen mask. A simple image, but that is conveying a lot of information. If we cut the trees, we get a shortage of oxygen. If we want oxygen for our life, you have to grow trees. Environmental pollution, if you want to reduce the environmental pollution, you have to grow the trees. Don't cut the trees. So, one image is capable of conveying many ideas. So, this is the third type of communication. Coming to fourth type of communication, wherein you can communicate effectively by summarizing and restating what you hear in your own words in order to confirm the understanding of all parties. That is possible only when you are an active listener. So, active listening helps the people to open up as well as avoid misunderstandings, as well as resolve conflicts and build the trust. If you want to be an effective communicator, you have to be an active listener. This is the fourth type of communication. Fifth type of communication is contextual communication. Here, communicating in different contexts, including those who pertaining to various populations, various persons, various situations, environments, set of behaviors, etc. Professional, cross-cultural, online communication, academic communication, crisis communication, these are all the contextual communication. Here, when we look into all the 5 different types of effective communication, language is coming. Which language has to be used for effective communication? The answer to this question is the geographical area of the receiving person or the target domain which is going to listen to or read your communication idea or your information. I am putting a restriction of a geography, because that's very important. We get people who are very much influenced by the local language for communication. It's very much definite that there is a need of language for communication. Now, selection of a language is an important criteria for effective communication. Here, everybody is very much influenced by the local language. Either it is Kannada for the people who are living in Karnataka, or Tulu for the people who are living in the coastal Karnataka, from the belt of, say, Kasargodu till, say, Udupi or Kundapur. They are very much influenced by the language called Tulu. And people from Kerala, they are very much influenced by the Malayalam. People from Tamil Nadu, they are very much influenced by the language Tamil. So, these are all the languages which are used for communication. Now, the question is, if you use your local language, your domain is restricted to your limited geography. Suppose if I use my local language, that is Tulu, I can definitely communicate with the people who are living in the belt of Kasargodu, Mangalore and Udupi districts. I am failure if I use the same language and try to communicate with the people who are outside this geography. So, under such circumstances, I may have to use the most popular language of that geography, which is Kannada. Or if I go down towards Kasargodu and next to Kasargod, I may have to use Malayalam, because the people who are living there are strongly influenced by the language Malayalam. So, here my objective is selection of a language for communication. As long as you are in the field of IT, you are in the field of management, you are going to be a professional. Selecting some domain as your career, you have to select such a language which should be understood by a large domain of people. So, a language has to be selected which can convey your ideas, which can convey your information to a large domain of people, covering a bigger geography. So, in this case, the language which could cover the entire world is none other than the English. So, it is very much important that along with your local language. You have to communicate in English to convey your ideas and information to others. Because your ideas, your information should not be restricted to your boundary. You may get a job from outside wherein you have to use this language, the English, for communication. Here, I would like to give an example. It's a real example. Happened in a village near to Kollam, Kerala, a district called Palam. One student, he he was from a rural background, strongly believing his mother language, that is Malayalam, and was communicating in Malayalam. Joined his degree, and he was a good sports person also. He was selected for intercollegiate hockey tournament team. He played well, got selected for district level, played well. He got selected for state level also. So he started dreaming that he is going to be a very good sports person, a hockey player in the future days. He concentrated only on hockey, practiced well, tried to show his excellent performance, but the fate is different. The fate was different in his context. I could say it was a game changer in his life. So, what happened is when he was playing for a selection match, he got seriously injured and disqualified. He was not knowing what to do because he never dreamt that he was going to be disqualified. He was disqualified. He went under depression. He had a bitter experience. He had nothing in his future, just a blank. So, with great difficulties, he could complete his degree. Then he became jobless. A person who is from a very poor background, with great difficulties, completed his degree and jobless. Looking into his situation, somebody in his neighborhood suggested him to go to Bangalore and meet one builder who is from the same place. Some reference letter is given, etc., 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 were done. And this boy was very happy and he went and met that builder. Builder said, see, I don't have any opportunities for you because my field is a construction field. Your field is totally different. But one thing I can definitely do, since you are from my place, I can give some accommodation for free. He gave an accommodation. You know where? Normal workers, building workers who were staying in the building under construction. Along with them, this boy was also had to stay. Then he identified. Then he came to know that where he is lagging. He came to know that where he was lagging. Then he started learning English. He went to different companies to attend the interview. Everywhere he was thrown out because he was not knowing a global language. He was not knowing English. He didn't know how to write a letter. He didn't know how to speak. He was very poor in written communication. He was very poor in oral communication. He realized it. Then he became an active listener. He had a TV in his room. He went on watching English news, concentrated on the vocabularies which were used in English news. With great difficulties, he got a salesman's job, holding books and requesting the different parties to buy the book. That's a dictionary. He found it very difficult. But in the due course, he started opening the book and started reading the contents of the book. So he started, you know, to actively participate himself in improving his English knowledge. It's not difficult to learn English. A couple of small conditions are there. If you fulfill those conditions, you can definitely learn English. And it is not necessary that by tomorrow you have to learn English. But it is very much necessary that even if you are wrong, you communicate with your friends in English. That will improve your English knowledge. He started watching news. He started reading the English books. Slowly he developed his knowledge in English. He joined some certificate courses, certificate programs. He improved a lot. Luckily, he got a job in Oracle, a small job in Oracle. That was his game changing job. He got a job in Oracle. He started showing his skills, started showing his commitment in that company. At the same time, he did his MBA also. See, there is there are different ways wherein you can acquire knowledge, you can get the innovative ideas wherein you can introduce those ideas to capture the market. He, after completing his MBA, he identified one sector in the market which was very essential and no service provider was there in that industry. He quit the company, started his own business firm in the year 2006. After 8 years, that is in the year 2014, the company made a profit of $3 million, spreading its office in 5 different companies. Just imagine a person from a rural background who was finding difficulties to have three the 1 day meal, opened a business in 5 different countries. A person who was not at all knowing any other language than his mother language, that is Malayalam, could rule in 5 different countries, having offices spread in those countries, giving an opportunity to thousands of people under him, getting a profit of $3 million in 6 years. Just imagine. Is it not possible from everyone? Yes, it is possible. So one of the major requirement is everybody should start communicating in English. So now we shall look into the various types of communication. As we already know, written communication is one type of communication. Oral communication is another. Basically, oral communication plays a very, very important role because it is the one where we are more oftenly using when we are traveling, when we are sitting in the class, when we are in the public domain, when we meet our friends in the market. So everywhere, see, our mouth does not shut until we go to bed. So from morning till night, we engage ourselves in oral communication. Very rarely we use written communication. So, but other three are some types of communication, but of course, the first two one are very much used in one's life. So now let us see the written communication as well as oral communication. Let's see what is written communication, where it is used. Written communication is any written message that two or more people exchange. Written communication is typically more formal but less efficient than oral communication. I have already mentioned this. One point I forgot to mention. See, when you compare written communication with the oral communication, written communication is less efficient than oral communication. Means usage of written communication when compared with the oral communication is less. But it should be more formal than oral communication. One simple example I give you. The example is you go to your faculty and you say that, Madam, I have fever. Shall I go home? It's informal communication. I have fever. Shall I go home? The concerned faculty looks at you, and if the madam is satisfied, yes, you have fever, she says, yes, babe, you can go home, take rest. Whenever you get equipped, whenever you are healthy, you can come to the class. That's the most informal method of communication. Very easy. Straight away go to the madam, explain the condition, and come out. But when it comes to written communication, there is a policy. You have to write the place, date from your name to the authorized person's name, like head of the department, so and so address. Then you have to mention dear sir, subject, requesting you to grant leave due to health issues. Then you have to explain as you are suffering from so and so, you're not able to attend the classes properly. So I request you to kindly grant me 3 days leave from so and so date to so and so date. So yours sincerely, there is a format. So the formal communication is the written communication, which is a bit different from oral communication. But written communication maintains a record throughout. But oral communication is not an authentic communication. So there is no claim for any kind of oral communication. Now let us take some examples of written communication. You're sending and receiving emails. Emails are examples of written communication. Text messages. You're widely using WhatsApp. You're texting the messages. That is also an example of written communication. Then blog posts. You are having your own blogs. Then you are sending business letters. See, in business letters, there are different methods: official letter, demi official letter, formal letter, informal letter. See, these are all various types of written communication. Then, of course, the reports. All these are not only that, the proposals. Normally, when you are interested in getting some business, you are writing the proposal, how to start the business, how do you plan, how do you execute, and how do you materialize this. So your proposals have to be approved by the concerned authority. So proposals also are examples of written communication. Contracts. Contracts are also methods of written communication. Then job descriptions. Whenever you apply for a job, you'll get an appointment order wherein there is a job description. You are appointed for so and so position. Your responsibilities are so and so. The job, whatever you are assigned, has got so and so description. They write the description. Your role, terms, conditions, salary package, leaves and other benefits given to you, all those are mentioned. These are all job descriptions. Employee manuals, memorandum, memos. Memorandums or memos play a very, very important role in written communication. Bulletins, instant messages, postcards, faxes, advertisements, brochures, news releases. See, so many different types of written communications which are available. Right? Now, what should be the qualities of effective written communication? The first quality is it should be comprehensive. Anything which you are drafting in the form of written communication should contain all the relevant details. This is an apt word which should be used by one and everyone. You are writing. Sometimes you will be asked, describe. In the examination, students are asked, describe about the subject. So the reader who asks the question is expecting the relevant details from the writer. So your description must be comprehensive, which contains only relevant details. It's not that easy. Unless we understand the things, we are not able to give the relevant details. Then, whatever we use for writing must be accurate. Technically, the meaning of accurate is little different. Normally, the people who are in the field of science and technology, they use this terminology, the accurate terminology. But they don't know the actual definition of accurate. Suppose if they get a value called 2.5, they say, I got an accurate value. What is the value? 2.5. What are you supposed to get the value? 2.5. If you are supposed to get a value 2.5 and if you got a 2.5, it is not accurate. It is a standard. 5 by 2 is 2.5. Whoever is doing it, he will get an answer 2.5. That is standard value. But what is accurate value? I will take one more example. Say 10 by 3. If I ask what is 10 by 3, one may answer, sir, it is 3.33. Yes, it is right. One more says, sir, it is 3.3333. It is also right. One more says, sir, it is 3.33333333. That is also correct. But none of them give the standard answer. Why? Because 3.33, if I multiply by 3, I don't get a 10, but I get 9.99. If I multiply 3.3333 with the 3, I don't get a 10, it is 9.9999. Similarly, if I take 3.333333 multiplied by 3, I don't get 10, I get 9.999999. But none of the answers give me value 10. Here, accurate plays an important role. So what is the meaning of accurate? It is the closeness of the value towards the standard value. See, 9.999999 is very close to 10. So that is more accurate than 9.99. It is close, but not closer to 9.9999. Say 9.9999 is more closer than 9.99. So 3.3333 is more accurate compared to 3.33. But none of them are standard. So whatever details you are mentioning in a written communication, the value should be accurate. Next is appropriate. So you have a right tone. You have to draft a letter, you have to draft the content in a very right tone, and the formal level you have to maintain. For example, if you are issuing a memo to your subordinate, you have to use very standard, very formal method. Even if you are seeking an information from that person for his indisciplinary activity, if so, you are issuing a memo for your subordinate who is not behaving properly, who has got some disciplinary issues. Even then, also, you have to mention, Dear Sir, subject, asking explanation for your indisciplinary activities. Then, right, it has been observed that you have been indisciplined toward in discharging your responsibility, etc., etc., etc. You can write it later, but the tone is very important, wherein you have to mention yourself as a higher authority. At the same time, you have to give respect to the person with whom you are seeking explanation. Even suppose if you are not happy, you are going to terminate him. There also, you have to use a formal letter wherein respect should be there. But of course, with the strong words, you can terminate a person. But appropriate tone should be used, appropriate words should be used, formal letter is required for the written communication. Now, composition. So, when it comes to composition, there should not be spelling mistake, there should not be grammar mistake. In most of the cases, spelling mistakes can be automatically identified using technology. Even grammar also can be corrected using some technological softwares like Grammarly. There is a software called Grammarly which will uh, correct or which will suggest to correct the grammar. Next, another quality is the contents, whatever you write, must be very clear. It should be understandable. See, gone those days wherein people were using the scholarly terminologies. Some novels were written by the great scholars of English. They have used thy art, like this, like that. Thy means you, art means art, like this. See, they have used very complicated terminologies, complicated sentence formation to show their talent. But today, none of these things are accepted. What is accepted is the clarity in your sentence formation, the clarity in your written communication, so that the moment anybody reads your letter, he should understand. So, it makes everyone easy to learn English and to communicate using written communication, because simple sentences are required to use in the written communication. So now, what are the clarity in the written communication? First thing is, what is your goal? Clearly identify. Use the right tone, as I already mentioned. Wherever you need to mention a strong statement, mention a strong statement. Wherever you need to respect the guy, you respect him. So you have to use the right tone at right place. That is second. Third one, keep it very simple so that the reader can easily understand. Otherwise, he'll close it and go. Stay onto the topic. Don't try to deviate from the topic. Very straightforward. presentation of the topic. That's very essential. See, nobody wants you to write 4 pages or 5 pages or 6 pages of a written document wherein the actual content is half a page or three-fourths of a page. If so, people will be very happy if you mention three-fourths of a page. Nobody is having a patience to go through pages together, pages together. Then another very important requirement is always use active voice. You being the subject, next party who is going to listen to you being the object. See, gone on days wherein the scholars were always using passive voice. It has been done. It has been declared. You have been declared holiday on so and so date due to so and so festival. Instead, mention it is holiday, it is declared holiday on so and so date for this purpose. Make it very simple. The work has been done by me. Why do you want an indirect method? I have done that work. Very simple. I use one statement. Rama killed Ravana. Very simple presentation. If you use passive voice, Ravana was killed by Rama. See, was by. How many different words you have to put it in between in the proper place instead of straightforward presentation. Rama killed Ravana. So use active voice in your presentation. Another point is very important point. After you draft a letter or after you complete your writing, it could be 1 page or 2 page, 3 page or any number of pages. Get the opinion by somebody who is a proofreader so that he can give some comments on your article which you have written. So you can note down the comments of him and you can implement in your writings and you can rewrite it wherever necessary. Then make it easy to read and scan. So it should be very easy so that somebody can read it, somebody can scan it. Don't forget, you should be a professional in writing. Okay? So you should be professional in writing. This is very important. So now it is a question of our answer the following questions. List the different examples given for written communication. What are the qualities? Next question is, what are the qualities of effective written communication? First question is, list the different examples given for written communication. Second question, what are the qualities of the effective written communication? Third question, what are the different written communication type? What are the different types of written communication? The fourth question is, What do you mean by active listening and why it is so important? And last question is, what is the contextual communication? Thank you. Goodbye.